when a tree is small, you can notice its growth. When it gets bigger, it continues to grow, but imperceptibly. Hey, this is me, Nivea, and today I'm going to speak about 3 books written by the very famous Indian author, Perumal Murugan. I heard about his meticulous way of writing quite a few years ago itself, but it's just recently that I got to read them. I read 3 books, Pyre, Poonachi and One Part Woman. All were originally written in Tamil and later translated into English. I read the English versions. Did I find any commonality between all these 3 books? Yes. All are written in very simple language, but they have a strong message to give. All have one or the other socially relevant topics that is, happening in the background. And that is what makes Perumal Murugan's books all stand out. So let's start with the most controversial book of his, which was even banned for quite some time, and that is One Part Woman. The book One Part Woman was published back in 2010, but at that point of time, there were no controversies attached to this book. Later, it was after 3 to 4 years that a lot of controversies got attached to this book, that it even had to go through a ban, which I'll explain why and all of that. But in 2015, Perumal Murugan, the author himself, announced his literary suicide and declared self-imposed to his career. Why? Because in 2014, he was threatened and pressurized by a lot of political or caste-based sections in Tamil Nadu. He was threatened so much that he called himself as a walking corpse. Now, what is there in this book that makes it so much controversial? This book speaks about a childless couple, Kali and Poona, who are socially pressurized in order to opt for a so-called radical solution in order to give birth to a child. And now what is that? So there is a religious festival every year wherein the childless women are permitted to sleep with another man, not her husband, in order to give birth to a child, that is to become pregnant. The political groups or caste-based groups backlashed, stating it's an insult to women, tradition, religions, and temples. And then this book was banned. But later, the ban was lifted when Madras High Court stated that let the author be resurrected to what he's best at. Leaving aside all the controversies, did I like this book or not? I felt it just fine. Yes, I like the fact that this book calls out that the society pressurizes individual choice, which they believe it as norm, and hence want to commonize it. But other than that, I didn't find this book that engaging. I felt it quite boring at times because it's just straight to the point kind of book. It doesn't have any twists and turns and all of that. Yeah, with that, let's go to the second book. Ponachi, the story of a black goat. If you've read the book Animal Farm or The Hen Who Dreamed She Could Fly and liked it, then you're going to like this book as well. Because here also the author uses an animal, a goat, in order to tell the story of a human life and the social norms. Now that you know the controversies related to One Part Woman, I'll read out a few statements in the preface of the book Ponachi, wherein the author clearly mentions why he chose a goat as a protagonist and not a human. I'm fearful of writing about humans, even more fearful of writing about gods. It is forbidden to write about cows or pigs. That leaves only goats and sheep. Goats are problem-free, harmless, and above all, energetic. I hope you got the sarcasm there. Now, this book speaks about a goat which is just 1 day old being gifted by a stranger to a farmer. The farmer and his wife takes care of this goat beautifully until greed comes into picture at a very high level. Obviously, different readers have different interpretations and perspectives. For me, this book was mainly focused on the life of a woman, the fears and lost freedom of a woman. And out of all the 3 books, this is the one that I liked the most. With that, let's go to the third book, Pyre. I listened to this book via Audible. This book is about Kumarasan and Saroja, a couple who are deeply in love with each other and then they get married without seeking the permission of their parents. And it's an intercaste marriage. They strongly believe that the love, not just among themselves, but also that they provide to others, their family, villagers, everyone, along with time will heal and settle things. However, things just get worse when the villagers, the society, and the family themselves heed more towards caste than emotional attachment or love. This book is written in very simple language, but I felt it quite boring at certain instances because I felt it outdated. Not in terms of the concept, but because of certain scenes and plots which are very repetitive. At the same time, I'm aware that it's repetitive, unfortunately, because of the existence of different layers of outturns of caste. So these are the three books that I wanted to speak about today, and all these three books are very easy to read, but it all has mature content. It is not intended for children, and it reminds us of certain social norms which needs to be definitely abolished. With that, this is me, Nivea, signing off. Keep reading a lot of books. Take care. Happy reading.